Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you our third installment of fantasy football wide receiver sleepers. That's right, more sleepers. We'll show you how to win your league by winning your draft. Let's get this fantasy football podcast started right meow.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin, that is Kyle. Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
We're going to keep this momentum going, Kyle. We're having fun.
Yep.
A lot of people watching. This is fun stuff, man.
It is. Has been.
Dude, draft day is upon us, everyone. We got the sleepers you need to dominate your drafts. Monday, we gave you our third installment of our running back sleepers. And you know what? We just weren't done yet. We just weren't done.
You know what? Justin and I were talking, and he said to me, we can go deeper.
I thought we could.
Yeah.
You know,
and so we did.
There were some naysayers out there.
Yeah.
There were some naysayers saying, Kyle, Justin,
you can't do it.
Go that
it
deep.
Can't be done. It can't be done. Yeah.
You know what? We did it. We went there.
Yeah. We said, hey, if the world can Marianas Trench, we can dig a deep sleeper too. I don't know what that
nerds. No joke. Well, there goes the viewership.
Wait, here it is.
Too bad.
Yep. Yeah, there it is.
That wasn't bad. That was actually pretty good. That was pretty good. Well, we definitely hit you guys with some running back sleepers and our super deep running back sleepers. So today we wanted to give you our final wide receiver sleepers of this 2021 fantasy football season. I'm super excited, Kyle. What you got before we get right into it? You got any more bad dad jokes?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm sure there are a few that will like creep in. Yeah. But hey, you know what? Hit that subscribe button down below as well as the like button. A lot of people who are watching us, they aren't subscribed. And you know what? You're going to miss out on a lot of extra help during the season. We are here to help you win your league this year, guys. We actually like helping. Believe it or not, you ask questions, we answer them usually. And as long as you're not being a jerk about it, that's cool. We'll do that. But you know what? If you subscribe, you're going to find out that we post 5 episodes a week. We break down all the matchups, and we're actually adding a 6th one. That's right. We're adding a 6th one. We're going to be doing pregame on Sundays. That's what we're gonna do. I still haven't got that one worked out, have I, Justin? I'm still stumbling.
Yeah, you know what?
You
struggle. Yeah. We're gonna stream on Sunday. Mornings going into the Sunday afternoon games.
My tongue don't work good.
It's one of those things where we notice that people are sitting on their phones, usually doing their Sunday morning business. Who do they want to draft? So we're gonna have people on there on Twitter asking questions, and we're gonna find those questions, and we're gonna tell people, hey, we're gonna be answering your question. Get off the toilet and come watch us.
Well, you know what? Just throw your hand up and say,
"Little help now."
That's right. We're there. Yes, we'll help you out.
We got it in there.
We got it. We got him. Yes, we did it. All right, guys, let's dive in headfirst in the shallow end. Start talking about some wide receiver sleepers again. All right, first one up, we've got Marquez Callaway, right? That's a name most of you probably haven't heard based on where he's being drafted right now. It sounds like it. He's going 9th pick of the 15th round, and he's wide receiver 62 off of the board. This might be actually the shallowest of our sleepers that we're going to talk about. So look, he's over in New Orleans. Michael Thomas is out on PUP right now. We don't know how long. Callaway has stepped right into targets as a result of that. Not necessarily the same number of targets, but he's stepping right into targets. At least early in the season, Callaway could be an every week starter in your lineup. It is entirely possible. How long that lasts kind of depends solely on the health of Michael Thomas. So keep your ears to the ground before you do draft Callaway. You want to be aware of that situation as best you can. I mean, it's been very cryptic and odd, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't know how reliable the information is because there's been very scant information to begin with, right? All right. Yep. Callaway likely, in my mind, has future value beyond this season as well. So if you're in a keeper league or you're in a dynasty, you probably already know this guy's name or you've already drafted. But I would say that you need to at least have him on your radar at that point. But you're going to get the benefit of him now because Michael Thomas is out. So another thing to think about is who's going to be throwing the ball to him. That's a big question mark, right? So you got Taysom Hill and you've got Jameis Winston. I think that Hill provides a little bit less value actually than Winston does to Callaway, but I think that Callaway should still be able to get you points consistently regardless of who is the QB. I think that both of them are going to be able to throw the ball where Callaway is going to get, which is pretty deep actually. It's a pretty good route runner, pretty deep route runner. So the opportunities are going to be valuable, right?
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it because, there's always talks of Traquan Smith being a person, being a fantasy football relevant wide receiver.
He's what, entering his third year? Fourth year?
I mean, all the opportunity in the world last year, and he still couldn't, make the most of it.
Yeah.
And he's always banged up, and he's hurt already during this offseason.
Yeah.
So it's.
But don't worry, Devontae Smith is going to be fine. He's built the same, but he's going to be perfectly fine. Don't worry. I had to throw that in there.
You had to get that in there.
Yeah, come on.
Give it time. You're going to be talking about it soon. Give it time.
Give it time. Just give it a little while. You'll
Let
be
it breathe,
about
Kyle.
it. Yeah.
Let it breathe.
Yeah. All right. What do you got?
I got a guy that people have heard of. I would hope so. It's T. Higgins. First pick in the 7th round, wide receiver 29th off the board. And I just want to start off by this one. Kyle, I sent you 4 different texts during the Bengals preseason game this past week. 3 were each after each of Jamar Chase's drops. And the other one was whenever T. Higgins made a great catch in the middle of the field on a very similar route to one of Chase's drops. So yes, Jamar Chase got 3 targets and had 3 drops. Not good numbers. So let's go back to T. Higgins, though. In 7 full games played with Joe Burrow last year, Higgins was the 11th best wide receiver in fantasy. Well, they brought in Jamar Chase. There's targets, there's everything. Well, let us not forget the fact that A.J. Green was still with the Bengals, and he was getting a heavy target share. Wasn't coming down with a lot of them. He was about 50% on his catch percentage. So I think Higgins is still going to produce, even with them drafting Jamar Chase as a top 5 person, which is just still stupid. You got a broken offensive line. Let's just draft another wide receiver.
Anyways. And pass on a likely future Hall of Fame offensive lineman.
Likely, absolutely. So I still think the Bengals are going to throw it often. Jump balls will be plentiful, and especially down around the end zone, as they will struggle to punch the ball in because of a weak offensive line. So Burrow's going to have to throw the ball very quickly. He's not going to hesitate throwing that 50-50 ball to a T. Higgins, which I believe he's going to hesitate trying to throw that to Jamar Chase or Tyler Boyd. So I will have plenty of shares of T. Higgins this year. And at the first pick of the 7th round, why the heck not on a guy that has shown with playing with Joe Burrow as a low-end wide receiver 1, and you're going to be able to get him right in the mid wide receiver 3?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I think that he's being undervalued, definitely. And
yeah, I
don't really understand it. I think that offense is going to be a little bit better, but I don't get the Joe Mixon hype. So, you get a broken offensive line. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
How are you going to run the ball effectively?
And that's why I thought that's why, T. Higgins had a lot of red zone targets. And because they were just like, all right, snap. All right, throw it up in the air. All right, T.
Yep.
Go grab it.
Well, a lot of his routes were just like quick slants. And he was catching the ball across the middle of the field, getting banged up, but he was making a lot of guys miss.
T-Rex. He wasn't getting those T-Rex arms.
Yeah. Whereas Jamar Chase, maybe he is.
He's a rookie wide receiver, everybody, and he didn't play last year. That means it's going to take even longer.
Yep. So,
what you got, man?
I have Jalen Reagor, right? He's going 10th pick, 15th round, wide receiver 63 off the board. This dude last year, people were hot on him, and he's being forgotten entirely. It's weird. He was the 21st pick of the 2020 draft, and he had a terrible coach, terrible QB situation, at least, right? And the injuries were everywhere, including to himself even. Word is now trickling out that he just wasn't right all season after he had his injury issues arise. And no word that he's dealing with any injuries this season like last season. So I think that you've got some improvement there. You've got the opportunity for him to actually show up. He's a second-year receiver. He's second year in this offense. It's a different offense, but I think that it's likely that he's going to improve. You add in the fact that Devontae Smith is the size of a broomstick, like we were discussing before, and you've got a straight line to targets. He's going to stay healthy, hopefully, and he should be able to produce as a result of that. I don't think that Devontae Smith takes away from Reagor's chances this season as long as Reagor stays healthy. I think that these two guys will both be effective in the offense eventually. I just don't see Devontae Smith hanging around a whole long amount of time. There's only a few guys who can do what Randy Moss did. That's about, one. Randy Moss. I don't see anybody else being able to pull that off at that size, that leg size.
Deshaun Jackson's been around for a long time because of his speed, but he's always hurt.
Yep.
You're going to get him for that short amount of time, and then he's hurt.
Yep. So,
absolutely.
So I don't get it. I don't get why this guy's going so late. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. He's a wide receiver 2 on that team at worst. Right? What's going to hold him back? An injury-prone wide receiver, most likely. That's what they're banking is going to be successful for them. So that's weird to me. All right. So where are we heading here? We've got. Oh gosh, I lost my spot on our outline.
Corey Davis.
Got it right here. All right, wide receiver 4. Here we go.
Yeah, we got Corey Davis. He's going second pick in the 11th round. Wide receiver 50 off the board, and this is nuts because he's most likely the number 1 wide receiver for the Jets. Who have a rookie quarterback.
Most likely,
that has,
he is the number 1 wide receiver.
He is.
Most likely,
sorry.
he is.
Sorry. All right, he is the number 1 wide receiver for the Jets, and with that rookie quarterback in Zach Wilson, who's been relatively accurate during this preseason, especially on the move, which is awesome for fantasy football players here. It did take quite a while for Davis to really pop after being a top 5 pick just a few years ago. But the 26-year-old, yes, he's still only 26. He's on the verge of, I think, the second breakout because he finished as a 29th best wide receiver last year, and I think he has the opportunity to surpass that. He, in this last preseason game, he received 6 of the 11 passes thrown by Zach Wilson. So, yeah, rookie quarterback zoning in on 1 wide receiver, and that man is Corey Davis. So, rookie, I will say Elijah Moore has already been making some noise for the Jets. I think he will be really good, but he has missed some time already this preseason. And for a rookie, it's just going to take him a little longer. You want those rookies to come in and be healthy and be able to play as much as possible in the preseason to get going. It's just not going to be the case for Elijah Moore. So it's just another reason why I think Corey Davis is the number 1 wide receiver for the Jets, who, yes, they are going to try to control the game on the ground. They are going to have to throw at people. And with Corey Davis, he has the potential to beat his last year's finish of 29th. And at his current ADP of wide receiver 50, that is ridiculous value. He can half that. He can cut that in half.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't be a shock to me if he cuts that in half.
Yeah, I think that he'll at least be a startable player, a wide receiver 3 at worst.
Yeah.
I mean, that's dumbfounding. I don't get why that would be the case. But hey, a lot of these guys, that's where we found these guys, and we're just like, what's going on with this? Why is this dude here? So yeah, I think he's one of those guys.
Let other people overlook these guys, and you be the one drafting them around this range.
You get to pass up you get to just change up the way you draft as a result of waiting on these guys, because you're banking on a bunch of these guys who are being overlooked being available later, and that's really what's happening here. It's just it's just mind blowing. All right, here we go. We've got my wide receiver 5, or my wide receiver 3. We've got Sammy Watkins with the Ravens. He is over there now. 22nd round, 3rd pick, 85th wide receiver off the board.
Excuse me, Kyle. What wide receiver?
He's the wide receiver 85.
85.
Yeah. He's the 85th best wide receiver in the league. Clearly, I'm not aware. Did you see a tweet where he retired? I did go to his Twitter account because it's always
just to make sure
that he didn't retire. No, he didn't retire.
Lizard did not retire.
The Lizard King did not retire. So look, Watkins he's the wide receiver 1 in Baltimore this season, ahead of Marquise Brown, guys. I'm sorry to tell you, but that is what's going to happen. He is the wide receiver 1, and Brown is going as the 1st pick of the 10th round, 43rd wide receiver off the board. So at a minimum, in my mind, that's where Sammy Watkins should be getting drafted. I think he should be getting drafted ahead of that because I think he's a much more reliable guy than Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown is kind of a one-trick pony, and that's why that offense really struggled last year. So This isn't exactly an attractive passing offense based upon the last season. I think that last season was a slight bit of an aberration, though. Brown saw 100 total targets last year, and guess how many he caught? 58. Yeah, whopping 58. And you might say to yourself, well, it's Lamar Jackson, he's a running QB. No, he's actually a very accurate QB as far as running QBs go. I mean, he's north of 60% completion rate quite often, and that's kind of par for the course with most pro QBs, guys. So that's not out of the realm of normal. And Brown catching 58 out of 100 balls when he's the wide receiver 1 on that team is not a good thing. And so that's why they went and they paid up money to get Sammy Watkins on the team. I think that catch rate by Brown is part of what went wrong with the offense last year. And I think that's why this offense looked as bad as it did. I think the passing offense will look a lot better with a lot better wide receiver like Sammy Watkins. So you add in a better running game just because you don't have Ingram. You've got J.K. Dobbins showing up a little bit better. You add in a solid Watkins. Ravens should be better on offense to have the a better offense that you want to have some pieces of this season. And I think that Sammy Watkins as an 85th wide receiver off the board is one of those guys that you could easily get for nothing. The wide receiver 1 on this team. And so look, noise from beat writers around the training camp is saying, and they were saying this in OTA, they were saying it at like the early spring stuff when he first came in, and now they're saying it in training camp as well. Watkins is the best wide receiver on this roster, that he looks it as well, and that even Lamar can tell. You got to go watch his when they ask him about Sammy Watkins, and he says he's just great. He's wonderful to have there. He missed him on a back corner or back shoulder throw in the end zone. And he apologized to Watkins about it and was just like, I got to hit you every time for that throw. They're making plans to throw touchdowns together, guys. Throw and catch them. So getting a guy who's basically not getting drafted in almost every league who presents this level of upside, it's just absurd. It's just absolutely absurd. I think Watkins at least is a wide receiver 3 value with upside. So here's what I'm saying is take a shot on the Lizard King. Right? Yeah. Sammy Watkins, totally forgotten, dude. What in the world? That's
insane, man.
Totally forgotten. This guy's fast. I mean, look at the highlights that he had when he was with the Bills, the highlights with the Rams, the highlights with the Chiefs. The dude's produced everywhere, and suddenly, we don't need that guy. No.
That little guy? I wouldn't worry about that guy.
Yeah, that little guy? Yeah, wouldn't worry about that little guy.
That's what they're all saying about Hollywood Brown. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that little guy.
Yeah, well, because they stopped worrying about that little guy. They really did. And Watkins...
I like it, man.
Yeah,
I like it.
Look, if it weren't for Tyreek Hill, Watkins would have been a wide receiver 1 last year. Like, that's just the way of it. He's been a solid wide receiver for a very long time. And people are just like, yeah, he's done. I'm done with him. He's done. He's done too. Yeah. That's like everybody just made a decision. Oh, yeah, he's not playing anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he has health problems. Yeah, no. So there we are. All right, here we go. Wide receiver 6.
So I had so much fun. We had so much fun yesterday going super deep in the running back. So I went ahead and went super deep into wide receiver. And I'm going to take Mike Strawn. Yes, that's how you say his last name. I looked it up. Beat writers, they confirmed that's what it is. He is going 5th pick in the 43rd round. Wide receiver 173 off the board. I am buying into the hype. The videos from practice as well so far this preseason show a player. Yeah, he is kind of raw at wide receiver, but he has the potential to be very, very relevant in fantasy football. And I think he can even be relevant this year. He's 6'5". He was a 7th round pick this year. He's flashed all over the field. Teammates and coaches, they can't stop raving about him. He's already getting first team touches in practice, which is just insane because they are rather deep at wide receiver, but each one kind of has their own little warts almost. Michael Pittman, he flashed towards the end of last year after having an injury during the season, took him a little while to recover from. I think he's going to be really good for this team and for this year. T.Y. Hilton, I think this is the last rodeo. He's going to get a couple shots down the field every game. That's just going to happen. I think he's going to be steady TY. Paris Campbell has all the ability in the world, but man, has he been hit by the injury bug. And I mean, the most ridiculous kind of ones too. They're just really off the wall type of injuries. Zach Pascal is Mr. Consistent. He's just not going to light up the box score. He's going to do all the dirty work. So I think, a few things have to go right for this to fall correctly, but it's not like I went through murderer's row of wide receivers just there. Michael Strawn has the ability to come out of nowhere and be relevant for fantasy football. And it's one of those things, just keep an eye on it. You know what? Take a look at the first week, maybe the second week. Take a look at that box score. Take a look at the targets. Mm-hmm. Is he dressing for the game? Take a look at that to see if he's going to be on the field. If that's the case, he's a guy that you can't miss when he's on the field because he's, once again, 6'5".
Yeah.
And can jump out of an arena. I like it, man.
Yeah, I will say he's such a deep sleeper. I actually had trouble finding a picture of him for the slide with a helmet on.
There we go, people. That's how deep we go.
That is about as I don't think you're going to get anybody who goes deeper than we just did on these sleepers, guys.
Got to make up for it somewhere.
Yeah, I guess so. Jeez. All right, guys, that's going to do it for sleepers, I think, for this season. We're not going to talk about QBs or tight ends. If you're interested in that, you can check out one of our older episodes. Those guys are there. We have talked about them. We've got a few there. But, hey, if you have a question, we are here to help out. We will answer your questions. So just, raise your hand. Let us know.
Help now.
Yep. And we'll help out. That's right. So hit that subscribe button. Also hit the like button down below. Let us know that, let the algorithm know that we're doing okay over here. And hang out with us during the season, guys. You can also check out our, I haven't brought it up this week, but we do have the draft kit available for sale still. It's $10. We're putting out updates on it, and we'll let you know when the next updated edition is coming out. But if you order, you'll get the next updated edition as well as the current edition. It'll help you with your draft. It'll help you win your league this year, guys. So make sure you do that. We actually have a QR code for it if you want to head on over to our website. That QR code will take you right to the draft kit, so you can scan that with your phone, or you can just go ffbupside.com, and there's a link right at the top to check out our draft kit. All right, guys, thanks for hanging around, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye.
See ya.